For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a review on a lovely tent here from Kampa. So this here is the Kampa Bergen 4 Air Pro. So it's kind of got a bigger brother, which is the 6 Air Pro, but this essentially is necessarily the smaller sister, well, little sister of the range. It uses Kampa's single, basically multiple point inflation, so each beam is done individually, and you can check out our own pitching and packing videos that we do here at Attwoolls. You've got a lovely, good Kampa Pro fabric, so it's 150 denier, 6,000mm hydrostatic head, so very waterproof, but also very durable, about twice the thickness of what a normal tent fabric would be. Features-wise, yet again, it's something that's been in the range now for a whole year. The 6 has been around for a couple of years now, but the 4 was a nice sort of concept size. You've got obviously a nice enclosed front, webbing straps on the front yet again to beef it up again, but webbing straps on the side. Now it's very easy to pitch. You just peg the main 4 corners, which is anywhere where you've got this little blue webbing strap, so it's nice and simple. Then you can do the base on the sides and the guides in a single point there, so it just makes it a bit easier and saves you less pegging point per everywhere around the bottom. So yeah, again, helps to make it a bit quicker to put up. The thing that's probably unique to the Bergen in terms of the Kampa range is that you've got this kind of side built-on kind of annex. Ideal for using as extra storage or a wardrobe, but more importantly, I sort of tend to say it's a great area for a little portable toilet. One thing I would bear in mind is that the price point, this is kind of, in my opinion, kind of like a Hailing 4 Air Pro, but with a vestibule on it and then the annex. So I always personally think where it's way off the price difference for going for Hailing 4 with vestibule and how much that kind of means to you. I think the Hailing 4 probably in terms with that with vestibule, and for me I think kind of means more and there's more options with it. But even so, you've got ventilation points not only in the little annexy parts, but below low level ventilation in the climate control of the bedroom, as well as at the back part is a nice vent there to help circulate and give you less sort of condensation as such. Generally, the front door, you say, can be put in 3 different positions, so about a third open, 2/3 or completely open as well. And there's a range of canopies and mesh vestibules you can buy to add on. So there's a zip located here, so you can zip on a nice big canopy to give you extra shelter, and if need be, you can put the mesh vestibule on top of that as well. Generally, it's quite a nice little model. We'll talk more about sort of the ins and outs of it as we have a look what it's got to offer inside. So let's see. So now we're inside the Bergen, you kind of get a bit more grasp for the internal area that you've got. And the one thing I'd say, like, it's more orientated to more, I'd say, either a couple's tent or a small family of 4. One thing to bear in mind is obviously the living area isn't actually that big, but it gives you enough room to do kind of what you want with it. The canopy area actually, on the other hand, is quite a bit bigger than the main part of living area. So whether you use this as kind of a wet room or there's a ground sheet supply for the base, which you can use yet again, just kind of seal it all up. But generally, I think for me, it's one of those things that you kind of want a little bit more room in there and maybe not so much in here, or an equal distance between them. But because you've got tons of room in here, you put a table and chairs or cooking equipment, and in there when you're in front of the sort of the inner tent as such, is not, you don't want to be tripping over anything or on top of things. So I think as a small little thing goes, it's not too bad. Like I said, in the bedrooms, like I said, I've got a slight blackout to them, so it's sort of a nice tint to make it seem kind of darker, but they're good sort of depth on this model, so you can even go with like high-rise beds and things like that, you can fit it in there no problem. Essentially, it's just a zip divider between the 2 sections that feels like a completely different inner tent, and the joys of actually having a good big mesh pass on the front help with circulation, and that's kind of a theme throughout the tent. You've got sort of high-level ventilation in sort of the main part there, as well as the above the inners. And yet again, a mesh door on this side allows a good circulation of air, especially with that rain-safe canopy side. So it's like a little canopy brow just to stop when the rain comes in, it flooding in inside the tent. So if you don't want to necessarily go through that way, if you have it as sealed up, you can happily, when it rains, go in and out of that door without having to worry about necessarily, you know, I don't know, the River Nile coming in. Generally, the front door here is probably a little bit more versatile than it is with the Hailing 4, just because you've got, it's not a fixed point. You've got a small little doorway which runs flat, but you can actually open up to kind of make it one big area. So zip running on top, and then a separate zip running on the bottom, and then you can roll it back and toggle it back to either point here or there. Throughout the tent you've got zip up and down curtains, so not only in the canopy area have you got great visibility for PVC windows, but you can also get the privacy when you want to as well. So little, so it means you get obviously good sort of level of coverage, but you can kind of also have it down kind of halfway. So you want to necessarily hide things below but still allow light in, you can also do that. And then just simply folds away, well, rolls away I should say, into there, little pocket below, and you've got a little retainer just to kind of keep it at bay. Main thing, like I said, the selling point of the Bergen has to be this extra part here. It's ideal, if I said, using it as a portable toilet. The ground sheet you can basically clip in and clip out of there. So if you want to make it kind of like feel like a sealed in area, you can do. But there actually is a wardrobe pole, which you can basically just clips in. So that's an added extra. But that wardrobe pole can not only go in that side part, but can also be clipped into the bedroom compartments either side. So it's a nice little option extra, something that the camper just thought about, which works quite well. And just clips in like so. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Easy as you like. There's also cable entry points for mains coming on through either side, depends on which way. Doesn't matter where this electric hookup point is, you can feed the cable through. Yet again, you've got hanging points for lanterns, as well as little Velcro tabs to release the cable down the side of the beams, so it's not suddenly lynching you every time you walk through the bedroom. One thing I'd probably say in terms of lighting, I'd probably recommend going for Kampa's Sabre Link lights. The Flexi light necessarily is a little Velcro tab just stitched in here, and it will feed along the beam, and then what happens is it's not going to take up any internal headroom by having a lantern, and it feeds light directly down. What you also see is actually that you can remote control, alter the brightness of it. You buy it comes in the starter kit, which comes with a main socket as well as a 12-volt socket. But what it also does, you can buy add-ons to it. So running off one socket, you can have 1, 2, and there's also one in here, 3 lights as well running off the same socket, all remote control, sort of adjustable. But nice tent. Like I say, I'm not sure whether it's worth the hailing. Yeah, like I said, it's the same thing down. It's how much that point is a selling point to you. I think for me, I think it's a really nice area. Certainly with a bigger tent, but a small tent, I don't quite see it. But it's something we display the Bergen 6 Air Pro at our shop anywhere, and the Hailing 4, so you can get a concept of the size, but also then the style and fabrics. So that's kind of our little Attwoolls video review on the Bergen 4 Air Pro.